to the Stephen A. Smith Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
37 minutes.
Past hour number one back here on the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM. I don't need, listen, the brother don't need any introduction, but I'm going to give it to him anyway, okay? Because we go way back. He was the number one overall pick in 1996 NBA draft. He's a league MVP, a rookie of the year, an 11-time All-Star, a Hall of Famer. His new memoir, Misunderstood, is out today, and I'm happy to welcome in the house to answer himself, the one and only Allen Iverson. What's up, Cat Daddy? That's what he always calls me. What's up, baby? How you doing?
I ain't making no noise.
I mean, first of all, it's good to see you. I miss you. I love you. You know that.
Love you, man.
Why now? Why this book? Why now?
Probably the way I think about it is, the questions I've been getting is why not sooner?
Mm-hmm.
It took a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It took a minute, and me and my guy Ray, it was important for us to make sure that this was the most authentic as possible. We tried to make sure we wanted everything in there for the readers to kind of get a grip on who I really am. It's different than you reading it, because damn near 99.9% of the things you already know. You know me as a person. Everybody else get sound bites, and you might catch me on a bad day after we lost the game. I'm happy after we win. So it's different emotions, you know what I mean? Over the years, you've seen different interviews at certain times, and everybody have their own opinion. Even my fans that love me to death, but they don't actually know me. They know what they see from afar. So we wanted to make sure that we got it right, or as best we could.
I've seen things written about you. I've actually wrote a lot of things about you. I've seen documentaries done on you. I've seen you commenting about it, the whole bit. But when people were given the impression about, all right, this is the authentic Allen Iverson, courtesy Simon & Schuster, print 13A, my man Charles Suit, one of the best in the business. He's sitting right here in studio with us. Helped make me a bestseller. So I got nothing but love for him. When they said that about you in terms of this impression that you were going to be more authentic, it took me aback because I'm like, I've never known you to be anything but authentic. That's right. I'm like, what's going to be new about this?
I think it's the things that you just don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I think I have conversations with Tawana, right?
Yep.
Been with her 35 years. One thing she always tell me is, why do you let so many different things bother you? You know what I mean? Why do you care what people say and this, that, and the third? You know what I mean? Because I guess she got thick skin or whatever. And a lot of times when it's someone else, they feel the way they feel. You only can feel the way you feel. You know what I mean? And she would say, those type of things to me. And I would say to her, you're able to deal with stress better than me. That's a gift that you have. Certain people are like that. A lot of things don't bother people. You know what I mean? You come off, for me, knowing you, to the world as, I don't give a damn what you think. You know what I mean? I'm going to speak my mind, and that's that. And you fine with that. Right. That makes Stephen A. Stephen A. You know what I mean? You feel good about how you feel about something, and as long as you're not hurting anybody, you speak on it.
Right.
With me, I feel like another gift that I have besides, obviously what I did athletically is being an open book. Obviously, you think about the practice Rant or some different things you hear, in a turbulent life.
Right.
You are not proud of a lot of things. Some things are embarrassing. But I think with me, my gift is to share my story, the good and the bad, with people, and people, when they look at us, they always feel like we supposed to be role models to kids. I have so many adults, people that's way older than me, talk about how I inspire them, how I saved their life in different ways, as far as them, implementing things, my values into their life, and it's helping them, go through life, navigate, through this rough ass world that we live in. And I think, like, my gift is what I have to offer people, whether it's things that I've accomplished in a good way or the mistakes and the decisions that I made in my life. And I think that's what excited me the most about this book. It talks about the journey that I went on to become who I ultimately became. But you see the things that I went through, and you see where I could have easily given up and not believe in my dream, and how I fell down and got back up, you know what I mean? And continue, in your words, on the documentary, he's still standing. Right. You know what I mean? So,
well, I tell you this much, before I even ask my next question, I want to take a moment to give a shout out to Tawana. I'm not gonna listen, I covered you when you were starring for the Philadelphia 76ers, first 10 years of your career. To me, she's one of the greatest ladies I've ever seen, I've ever known in my life. And the very first interview that I ever did when I had my own show, quite frankly, was you, who came in at the last minute and sat down with me to get my career started. And I've often said, I'm gonna say this right here on my show, I personally don't believe that the success that I've been blessed enough to enjoy would have ever happened if it were not for you. I've always said that to everybody. I'm gonna tell you right to your face right now, I owe you the world. You will always be my little brother.
My man.
Having said that, I look at Tawana, and I remember on that very show, quite frankly, when you said, I died for her, I died without her. I want to know what level of inspiration she's had with this memoir compared to the inspiration she had while you were playing, while you were going through all the things that you were going through. What's the difference now? What's the lens that you look at her through now compared to what it was then?
She had to be extremely strong then, but I'm around a lot more now. I'm around a lot more now.
Right.
Steve, I'm 50 years old. A lot of the things that I did then, I mean, I couldn't, I'll give you an example. 6 months ago, I stopped drinking. And the best feeling in the world. But I'm still around family members, and I'm still around friends.
Right. And they ain't gonna stop drinking. They're gonna do what they want to do.
Right. You know what I mean? And, and I'm not talking bad about any of these people, because I love these people.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's an embarrassing feeling to, witness that, you know what I mean, when I used to be a part of the party. I was the life of the party.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, I get embarrassed when I say, damn,
That's
that
how you
used to be me.
Right.
You understand? And she dealt with that for 35 years. You know what I mean? And for her to be that strong, and to the love for me, Steve, to put up with that, man, and everything outside of just that, turning into somebody that you're not, being a person that she couldn't recognize. It was a lot, man.
Is that why you stopped drinking?
No, I started to evaluate my maturation level. You know what I mean? Where I should be at 50 years old, being how, for me, I know I'm the smartest man in the world, because I know I'm not. But I feel like a lot of decisions that I made, things should be different than they are. I'm not saying that I'm not satisfied and I'm not happy and content. Well, I'm not content with where I'm at, but I think a lot of things will be better. A lot of personal things will be better if you know, if I took that out of my life. And man, I just feel like, you know, I squandered opportunities. You know what I mean? I just small things like meetings. You know what I mean? Zoom calls.
Wardrobe. Remember that biggest time I bring up the wardrobe?
I
You
ain't
remember?
going there.
Yes, you are. We are going there. Do you want
Steve,
me to
I dress up. I dress up
I
now.
know, I know
at
that's
this
what I'm
age.
saying. Do you remember the greatest reaction you ever saw from me was when y'all were playing Orlando in the postseason? UL
Yeah, but
Boogie
do you
Aaron
remember?
King, and you had on a black pinstripe suit. And I
But
went
do you
berserk.
remember? Do you remember how? Do you remember how I was a fish out of water
Yeah.
at that point?
Yeah.
To the point of we were in Orlando,
Right.
and it was 95 degrees.
That's right.
And the
But
suit
you
was
look
Versace,
smooth.
but it was wool.
I know.
You remember that?
But you still look so smooth with
Well,
that.
I didn't
You
feel
had the
smooth.
suit. It was good. You did good. You did good, man. We're talking to the one and only Allen Iverson right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. What about the love from the NBA community? It's amazing how you knocked on the door of a championship. Kobe and Shaq Shaq in his prime, Kobe approaching his prime, stood in your way. Only thing that prevented you from winning the championship. But the love and the adulation you receive to this day from the NBA community is undeniable. You talk about the love from Tawana, and obviously there's a different kind of love. But I want to know how you feel about the NBA and how it embraces you to this very day as the ultimate warrior.
I think the honor in that is just embracing me for what I gave to the game, everything that I gave to the game by, you know, playing every game like it was my last, you know, feeling like if I went 0 for Winfrey from the field, you know what I mean? I could look in the mirror after the game is over and smile, feel good about myself because I know I gave the effort. I played as hard as I could that night. You know what I mean? I always felt I played harder than everybody on the basketball court every single night.
Right.
You know, whether I was sick, whether I was hurt, or anything going on in my personal life. For those 2 hours, I gave everything I had. And then for the NBA to show love to me, you know, the players, Adam Silver, you know, everyone, David Stern, may he rest in
May
peace.
rest in peace, yeah.
Everybody that had an input of giving me my flowers is just a blessing, man, and I love it.
I'm looking at numbers right here. That's why I'm flicking on my phone. You know how I roll. And I'm looking at your career average, 26.7 points a game, 6.2 assists, 2.2 steals per game. One of only 3 players in NBA history to average 25 points and 2 steals over a career of at least 500 games. You, Jerry West, and Michael Jordan are the only 3 people who ever did that in NBA history. You're the 3rd leading scorer in NBA postseason history at 29.7. Only Michael Jordan and Luka Doncic have averaged more. Averaged 35.6 points per game in the Sixers NBA Finals loss to the Lakers in 2001. You talk about all the great things that you did. As a player, away from the actual game, whether it's practice or something else, what regrets do you have about what you didn't do?
Only one in my career. I didn't buy, for whatever reason. Maybe it was immaturity. That's the only thing I could think of. I didn't buy what Coach Brown was selling in the beginning.
Larry Brown.
Yeah, definitely. That's the only thing I regret in my career, because you could see the pendulum swinging from the time I got into the league and from the time he came, and once I bought into it, how my career changed. You know, I had all the athletic ability in the world. I could do everything. I was faster than everybody on the basketball court. I could jump high. But I always used the John Stockton analogy. Steve Nash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They thought the game. John Stockton didn't have to be fast. He didn't have to be quick. He didn't have to jump high. He didn't have to be flashy. He just got it done at the highest level. And once I, implemented that into my game and started to, think the game instead of just running around fast all the time. I always think about that story with KJ.
Right.
When KJ destroyed me, that was the first time I got destroyed on a basketball court. I was a rookie. And then it wasn't speed. It was backdooring me. He was just outthinking me on the court. And I remember being in the locker room crying after the game because I never got destroyed like that. And I remember, Mo Cheeks coming up to me and said, don't worry about it. AI, one day you'll get somebody 36, 9, and 9. You know what I'm saying? And, I just, once I learned that from Coach Brown and started to, just listen to him and realize that he wanted the same thing that I wanted. It was all the same goal. You know what I mean? And that's when everything changed for me.
If you had brought in to what Larry Brown was selling, what would Allen Iverson be as a basketball player, legacy-wise, compared to what he is?
It wasn't that long before I bought in. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have been. I mean, when I look at top 75 all time, I mean that speaks for itself. And a lot of dudes that play this game, you know what I mean. And I was told I was too small. I was told that I couldn't play in the NBA with my style of play. And I just think that I was reckless in the beginning and still was the rookie of the year, you know what I mean, with not knowing how to play on the NBA level. I just felt that it was such a mismatch for me because you had to play me one-on-one. And then 4 scoring titles later, all of a sudden, then the zones come back into the league.
Right.
But once he taught me how to think the game, that's when I became who I ultimately became. So I think the same.
You've taken a lot of hits because of practice. We talking about practice. And I remember it was shortly after you lost Ra, your boy, urBoy. You know how much I love him. The one time you and I weren't talking, he was the one that got us back together.
That's right.
I mean, I miss him so much. He was such a good brother. I'm thinking about that right now because I'm wondering, when you talk about your experiences and what you've endured, do you feel, considering the title of this book, Misunderstood, do you feel that that was one of the most misunderstood moments of your career?
No question. No question. Especially in my career. You know what I mean? Aside from, things like my tattoos, the cornrows, the way I dressed. Besides that, yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? Like, and people really don't understand. All they thought of, I really got the perception of me just not liking practice. And in all actuality, it was just, you remember all that summer that was talking about trading me.
That's right.
The whole summer. You even broke it down a million times about Matt Geiger and trade kicking and all that. I remember you talking about that a lot.
Yep.
Stuff that I didn't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they called me in one day and basically they was like, you're not going anywhere. And I was so happy, man. I could tell my kids, Tawana, I could tell, my family and friends.
It took them long enough to tell you that, though, but that's a different story.
It did.
It took them a while.
It did.
It took them a while.
It did.
That's
it
right.
It did. But when they finally did, I was just so happy. I was relieved. So I go in there and I'm thinking I'm just getting ready to tell the world that I'm not going anywhere. And they kept asking me about practice. And I just, I lost it. And Steve, they have beat writers.
Yeah.
And
I was one of them.
Yeah, but see,
I didn't write that stuff though. But go
right, but me and you, see, one of the hardest things with you, it was you had a job, and then I looked at you as big bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was difficult for a while for me until I understood, like, these guys, Steve is rare with y'all relationship. You know what I mean? It's not usually. I used to always. I looked up to Michael Jordan so much. Like he's really Black Jesus to me. You know what I mean? And I just looked at. I kind of looked at us as because I looked up to him so much as a small version, a smaller version of himself and Ahmad Rashad.
Right.
That's how I kind of looked at it. You know what I mean? And you know, it was one of those beat writers that just, you know, some days you am because they want their what do you call it? They wanted their
story,
their story, their
headline.
Not that is
breaking news.
No, man.
Scoop.
When, exclusive.
Yeah, right.
They wanted it, you know, they want exclusives. I talked to everybody, but they look, I want you to, and then, you know, one of those guys I probably not right now.
Right.
And then, okay, I come in here and he getting ready to do this press conference. He think everything getting ready to be peaches and cream.
It wasn't me.
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
No,
I know who it was. I knew who it was.
Man, and I was like, and I knew what it was. And I just lost it. And it was taken all out of context. So now, this many years later, people see me in the streets, all the things I accomplished in my life and in my career, somebody say, hey, you're talking about practice.
That's right.
Like, all right.
Hey, listen, they can mock you all they want to, but at the end of the day, you went out on the court and you dropped 30 or 40 on somebody in a heartbeat.
You remember when you just asked me, you said, how would your game, would have been if I would have listened to him early?
Right.
So just imagine how my game would have been if I accomplished all the things that I accomplished and I didn't practice. I did all that without practice.
That's right.
So you know I had to practice.
Of course
man.
you did.
So.
Of course you did. Definitely I want to talk more about this book as we continue to move forward. But I want to get to the subject of small guards in the NBA real quick before I let you on out of here. You had Nate Tiny Archibald. You had Calvin Murphy, the great Isaiah Thomas, Chris Paul, CP3, John Stockton. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Where does Allen Iverson believe he fits into that equation?
Steve, okay. Now, this is important.
Sure.
You just named 5 guys, right?
Yep.
You count. You named 5.
That's right.
All right. 2 of them are 6'2". John Stockton and Zeke.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So when you're saying small guards, what's small? Because you can call Russell Westbrook a small guard. He's
I don't
6'4".
think so. 6'4". I'm thinking 6'2" and lower.
6'4".
I'm thinking 6'2" and lower. That's
Steph 6'3".
Okay.
They put Steph in the conversation.
Yeah,
I'm just because I love the debate. I love it.
Okay.
I love wherever you put me at. You know what I mean? I'm a basketball head.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever you put me at is an honor. If you just say my name, you mention my name as the best in the world, it's an honor to me. You know what I mean? So I don't get into where you rank me or anything like that. To me, if I'm ever on the basketball court with anybody, I feel like I'm the best player out there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on the court with 23.
Right.
I've been on the court with the greatest that ever played the game.
Right.
But my whole thought was, I know he's out here, but when the people leave, they're going to know who number 3 is.
You are a warrior. Who most reminds you of you mentally on the basketball court? Who's that person?
Mentally.
It's a tough question because it takes a lot to measure up to you.
I can name off a lot of guys. I mean,
that remind you of you as a warrior?
That went hard.
Okay.
Hard.
I'm listening.
But a lot of guys that go hard is not in that, you don't see it like that. You know what I mean?
I'm talking about a level of productivity too. It could be a lot of guys that go hard and they putting up 10 points a game. We ain't talking about that.
Russ went hard.
Right.
Like Russ play every game like it's his last. You can tell.
Right.
The energy level is always the same. You never, it's not a nonchalant aspect of his game. Everything is full effort. And that's not taken away from anybody else. Because I love so many guys. The league is in great hands. Like everybody got the way they nitpick at certain things. That guys, a lot of things that a lot of these guys do, I wouldn't think about doing. To each his own. Load management.
Yeah, right.
Like can you imagine somebody telling me we gonna rest you tonight? What do you mean rest me? It's a game.
Or you coming into the season and going like this, I got 82 games. Count on me missing 20.
No.
Not you.
I mean, I'm not I'm not cut from that type of club. I'm not built like that. To each his own. Now I'm not knocking anybody, and I'm not knocking any organization for the way they get down. But I just can't imagine you telling me like you're not playing tonight. We're gonna rest you, and I'm like, what do you mean? You want to bring up the word practice? Practice, shit. Rest me tomorrow at practice.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't rest me when we got a game. And then I always used to think about this, Steve, throughout my career. Even when I was hurt, like, damn, I used to be, obviously I couldn't be in the foxhole with my guys, but I used to always think like somebody, it might be that kid or that person's only opportunity to see me get down. And I'm not playing.
We saw LeBron join D Wade and Bosh in Miami. We saw KD join Steph and Clay in Golden State. We've seen others try to emulate and duplicate such things. First of all, if you could have, would you have done the same thing? And number two, if you had a super team to pick, meaning a couple of dudes to play alongside Allen Iverson in pursuit of a chip, who would you have picked?
Now? That's playing now?
Sure.
First of all, I would never, I always, and I know people gonna think I'm full of shit, but it's the truth. I mean, I would love to play with Shaq. I would love to play with Shaq.
Diesel.
I would definitely. That would be my dream to play with Shaq. But I always felt like I was on a super team, Steve. And this is why. I'm on the court with 4 other pros. They pros. I've never played with pros before. I played with guys, you know what I mean, that ultimately made it to the pros. Jerome Williams made it to the pros.
Right. But
You know
there's
what I mean?
levels to this. You know that.
I understand.
Right.
But for me, you know what I mean, my whole thing was me. You know what I mean? One of the biggest compliments that I've ever had from my teammates, or one of the biggest compliments, period, in my basketball career, was the fact that we all feel that if we got the guy 6 feet, 165 pounds with us tonight, we can beat anybody. That was enough for me right there. To answer your question, obviously Shaq. I would love to play with a healthy Embiid. I would love to play with Joker.
Damn, you ain't pick a guard.
I'm getting ready to.
I'm waiting. Go ahead, Embiid, Jokic, Shaq, got that part. What about the guard? Luka. Really? I don't see that.
Straight killer.
He is a killer, but he hold on to the ball. How you gonna
That's
get the ball?
all right. I know what to do with it when I get it. I'm gonna touch it.
Man,
I'm not using that. I'm not using that excuse. You put me on the court with that serial killer.
Right.
You got problems.
I want you to trust me to tell this story about Larry Brown complaining about you. Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. You were injured. It was a practice. I'm looking at my man Charles' suit. Hilarious story. I got to share it with everybody right now. So Larry Brown is complaining because he's got to play the right way. He's got to pass the ball. He's got to get it up. AI is injured. You're not playing. And this has never happened before. So usually it's some off-the-record conversation going on. Allen Iverson turns to me and says, turn on the tape recorder. Turn on, I don't know if you remember this. And he said, yo, it's 24 seconds on the shot clock, right? I'm gonna see if you start remembering it. He said, it's gonna take about 8 seconds to cross half court, right? So that give us about 16 seconds. He said, I get a ball to, the blue, Aaron McKee. He said he get a ball to George Lynch. George give it to Tyrone Hill, give it to Dikembe. You get it back to me. It's about 5 seconds left on the clock. Evidently, you didn't want to do anything with it. What the hell you want me to do? Am I lying? That's what you told me.
Never heard you tell a lie when it had anything to do with me.
Let me tell you something. I turned off the tape recorder, walked away from the interview, cracking up laughing. Because you know I put it in the
I'm going to run the play. I'm going to run the play.
Right.
But if the ball come back to me,
that's right.
if it get back to me,
right.
the play is not for me.
Right.
But we running the play and it come back to me, I'm definitely looking to get to that orange circle.
No doubt. 2 more questions before I let you get on out of here. One is about something else, and another is to close out this question about your book entitled Misunderstood. If Shaq wasn't there to help Kobe, are you a champion?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We ran into a juggernaut. We ran into a squad that hadn't lost a game in the playoffs. Mm. And if we wouldn't have won game 1, then they would have went down in history, arguably as the best team ever.
Yeah. When you dropped 48 in game 1, stepped over Ty Lue, everybody remember. That was a special moment.
I hate that.
That was a special moment. Why you hate that?
Because I love him.
Yeah, he loved it too. He said you made him famous. He ain't mad about it. He ain't mad about it. I remember that game, obviously, because it was the finals with y'all, but it was the first time I met Denzel Washington.
Wow.
And Denzel rolled over on me, put his arms around me as I was walking into the tunnel to go back to the media room. And he walked up to me to put his arm around me. He said, how much we got to worry about? I mean, AI is, I know he AI, but how much we got to worry about in this series? He was that worried. And I said, you have nothing to worry about because you got Shaq.
But look, Steve, that wasn't a super team. I mean, that wasn't them was just a bunch of dogs.
Yeah.
A dog, one killer and a bunch of dogs. You know what I mean? And everything, my deficiencies, everything that I couldn't do on the basketball court at a high level, they made up for it. I might have led the league in steals plenty of years, but it was always Dikembe right behind me making me look good. It was always Theo Ratliff back there.
They knew what your role is, and the greatest part about that team is everybody knew their job description and everybody followed their role. Eric Snow, Aaron McKee, George Lynch, Tyrone Hill, Dikembe. You had let go of Theo Ratliff in the middle of the season and brought in Dikembe. Oh, Lord. I mean,
you
had some dogs, no question about it. Last question to you. As we talk about this book, what do you believe or what do you hope people are going to learn from Misunderstood, the memoir about Allen Iverson?
I'm Allen Iverson that's known globally, all over the world. There's no place I can't go to where they don't recognize who I am. But I'm no different from you. Just like you. Just like you. Have good days, bad days, have ups and downs, just like you. Make bad decisions sometimes, make good decisions sometimes. Make mistakes just like you, cry like you, bleed like you, emotional like you, just like you. But with Allen Iverson, what I'm going to do every single day, I'm going to live, I'm going to laugh, I'm going to love. And
you're going to have love too, because you know I love you.
Love you back.
A whole bunch of people love you, man. I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. You look great. You understand? You ain't been drinking for the last 6 months.
Sure.
Lord have mercy. You're looking good, man. You're looking good.
Hopefully got another 50 in me.
That's right. Hopefully, man. You know, I still want to see you in your suit game. You know, I can help you out with that.
Man, Steve, you always, but look, look, everybody thinks, like I told you, I'm always taking up for you when you ain't around. I just, right. I'm not gonna tolerate it. And that's anybody that I love. But you've been like this forever. Ever since I met you. You and Aaron McKee, you come in the locker room and both of y'all used to do this same thing you do now on the show. You know what I mean? Talk about y'all dress code.
That's right.
Both of y'all talk about your suits. You always got on me. I remember you telling me, what you gonna wear to the Hall of Fame?
That's right.
No, you're not gonna wear a suit. No, I said, Steve, I bet you I'm gonna wear a suit. You're not gonna wear a suit. I said, all right. And I'm telling you, man, I like it now. My fresh goes, it goes a long way. You know what I mean? I'm Tawana like when I put on clothes, man.
That's right. You know that's what counts most right now.
Yeah, for sure.
You know that's what counts most right now. When you're 50, that's what counts most. You understand that?
It
right?
always mattered to me.
I know that. But it's elevated now.
For sure.
It's elevated now.
sure.
I don't know. I'm gonna end the interview by saying this because I know he's watching. Aaron McKee's watching somewhere right
Yeah.
now. You know they said I got him beat now with my suit game right. I got him now. I got him now. Blue was smooth as hell. He still is. He still is. But he didn't diversify the portfolio. Everything was blue. I've diversified. So I got him.
Yeah, you don't play. I call you out there as soon as I see you, because I'm right at it, 10 o'clock in the morning. My show is on.
That's right.
And then if I'm out the crib, I'm calling before I leave out of there, 10 o'clock, I'm recording that thing. Or I call if I forget, Tawana, channel 300, hit it, 10 o'clock. You know what it is. And you know what I mean? I love it. It's my favorite show.
Love you, love the family. Give moms my love, please. Tawana, you know I love you. All the best to you. I'll see you soon.
All right, baby.
The answer, the one and only, Allen Iverson. Misunderstood, the memoir of Allen Iverson, courtesy Simon & Schuster, print 13A, courtesy of Mr. Charles Suit, best in the business. This is the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. Back with more in a minute.